Manchester United got the job done, but this performance was far from comfortable. Manchester United last night, courtesy of Benjamin Sesko, got a narrow 1-0 victory over Everton at the Hill Dickinson Park, no longer the Goodison Park, for Everton at Merseyside, which has pushed Manchester United just 3 points within Aston Villa in third place, because I don't want to talk about the other people that are in fourth position. Chelsea, we are now 3 points ahead of them in the chase on a battle for the Champions League of football this season. Manchester United won, but the performance was more like a grinding, not a statement, more like a grinding. Manchester United easily more like grinded out the result against Everton last night. Let's talk about the performance of Manchester United against Everton. Man United moment, so we lacked that fluidity that we've seen in the attackers, especially the front three under Michael Carrick this season. There is this fluidity, there is the passage, the passing, understanding, synergy, cohesion, in the front three, especially. It lacked, it lacked to an extent. Everton, in key moments, Manchester United lacked that fluidity that we expected and that we've seen of them, recently under Michael Carrick that have made us to score goals. But in the last two games, things are the momentum and the fluidity is beginning to drop under Michael Carrick. We're beginning to lack that connection and that synergy that we have up front, and there's a trajectory that is beginning to set in, with Manchester United. In the last two games, we've managed to score just one goal each in our last two Premier League games. Against West Ham, we scored one. Against Everton, we scored one. If you look at the Everton game last night, Everton actually controlled the game. In majority of the game, in majority of the time, they controlled the game. They had the big moments. Man United actually, survived by the scruff of the neck. But the most important thing is that Man United got the job done, courtesy of Benjamin Sesko, who is becoming a super sub under Michael Carrick. But Man United fans, I want to ask you, what do you make of the general performance? I'm looking at the general play, not looking at the output. I know the output is very important to us this moment, considering the fact that we need to be back in the Champions League qualification. Like Cunha, for me, at some point, actually lacked that cutting edge, that killer instinct. He overcooked the ball most of the times. He would have released the ball earlier than he did, though he actually had a pre-assist to the goal that Benjamin Sesko scored. But there was a moment that Man United lacked that cutting edge. The final pass actually was lacking, and I know the scoreline doesn't really tell us the full picture, doesn't describe the picture of what really transpired last night at the Hill Dickinson Park. So Man United fans, let's talk about the general play. Were you comfortable with what you saw? Is it more